Hello everybody, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Jazz Albums review series. And today I am going to be talking about one of the most celebrated, decorated and respected musicians of all time, and is considered by many to be the most important voice for the saxophone since the late great Michael Brecker, and has earned the reputation as one of the best in the world, and has a very distinct sound on the horn. And when you hear him, you know straight away who it is, and he has seen it all, done it all, and played with them all. And I am talking about, of course, the one and only saxophonist, composer, bandleader, and arranger Chris Potter. And since bursting onto the scene in the 1990s, and for well over 30 plus years now, Chris Potter has cemented himself as one of the premier sax players of all time, and has collaborated with many of the important figures in the jazz world, from the Pat Metheny Unity Band / Unity Group, to Dave Holland as a member of Dave Holland's Big Band, Aziza quartet with Lionel, Loueke, Dave Holland, and Harland. He is currently a member of the Cross Currents trio with Zakir, Hussain, and Dave Holland. He has also played with Mike Stern, Scott Colley, Susanna McCorkle, the Mingus Big Band, Paul Motian, John Patitucci, Adam Rogers, Renee Rosnes, Steely Dan, Steve Swallow, John Swanner, Red Rodney, Laverne Butler, Peter Marsden, James Moody, Billy Drummond, Ray Drummond, Marlena Shaw, Luciana Souza, Billy Hart, Jim Hall, Antonia Farrell, you name it, he has played with them all. And he has also led his own bands such as the Underground Quartet, the Underground Orchestra, the Transatlantic Big Band, and he is currently leading his Circuits trio. And Chris Potter has released a number of albums under his name as a band leader. But for today's edition, I am going to be taking a look at Chris Potter's ECM catalogue, which is a total of 3 solo recordings. And even though Chris Potter has released tons of albums before he joined ECM, for me, his ECM catalogue is some of the best music that he has ever written. And for me, it really took Chris Potter's playing not only to the next level, but to new heights. And I'm going to be talking about each album individually, and I'll be choosing which one I think is the best one. So we are going to start with the first one, which was released in 2013, and this is Chris Potter, The Sirens. So this features an all-star cast of musicians. We have Chris Potter on soprano and tenor saxophones and bass clarinet, Craig Taborn on piano, David Bareilles on prepared piano, celeste and harmonium, Larry Grenadier on bass, and Eric Harland on drums. An unbelievable cast of musicians, all compositions written and composed by Chris Potter. We have Wine Dark Sea, Wayfinder, Dawn with Her Rosy Fingers, the title track, The Sirens, Penelope, Calypso, Naruskir, Stranger at the Gate, and The Shades. Excellent collection of songs and a great place to start if you're looking to get into Chris Potter's ECM catalogue. So we're going to have a quick look. There's the man. There we go. Larry Grenadier is a tremendous bass player and probably one of the most reliable musicians you'll ever see, and he's a great guy to have in your band. You got 2 of the best piano players on the scene today, David Bareilles and Craig Taborn, both done great albums as band leaders. Larry Grenadier and Eric Harland make a tremendous rhythm section on this album, and they sound great. And there they are. They're the guys. The thing with ECM albums, you've got to really listen to all of them to really appreciate the music, but there's some great playing here and some great music. So I would say the standout tracks for me are Wine Dark Sea, Wayfinder and the title track for Sirens, and they're all great songs, but those are the standout tracks for me. And it's got a very atmospheric sound, I would say, but it's very enjoyable. So there you have it, Chris Potter, The Sirens. So as we move to the next album, which was released in 2015, this is a very different album, and quite possibly the best one of the ECM catalogue, in my opinion. And this is the Chris Potter Underground Orchestra, Imaginary Cities. So this is kind of like a crossover project. So it's like jazz meets classical chamber music, and this is just epic. This is probably Chris Potter's most ambitious work to date, and it's just huge. So think of the Underground Quartet, but expanded with extra musicians and a string orchestra. So we've got Chris Potter on tenor saxophone, soprano saxophone, and bass clarinet, Adam Rogers on guitars, Craig Taborn on piano, Steve Nelson on vibraphone and marimba, Femir Epferon on bass guitar, Scott Colley on acoustic bass, Nate Smith on drums, and we've got a string orchestra consisting of Mark Feldman on violin, Joyce Hammond on violin, Lewis Martin on viola, and David Edgar on cello. Whew, big stuff here. Huge. So we've got Lament. We got a suite consisting of 4 movements, which is the title track. Imaginary Cities 1, Compassion, Imaginary Cities 2, Dualities, Imaginary Cities 3, Disintegration, and Imaginary Cities 4, Rebuilding. And we also got Firefly, Shadow Self, and Sky. Big album. One that I would recommend to any Chris Potter fan out there. Absolutely fantastic, and very Vince Mendoza sort of feel to the music, but it's incredible. There's the man who can, and the one who makes it all happen. Look at the list of cast of musicians you got there. Unbelievable. Scott Colley is a great bass player, one of the best. Adam Rogers, highly recommend you check out his discography. He's done some amazing albums. I'll definitely be talking about him in a future edition. Some great musicians and some great playing on here. And there's the string orchestra as well. Genius at work. Look at this large ensemble, a real team effort. Brilliant album. So I would say the standout tracks for me, I'm going to say it's probably the Imaginary Cities suite, but the whole album is just incredible. But I would probably say the centerpiece of the album is the Imaginary Cities title track, all 4 movements. Brilliant album, and as I said, probably Chris Potter's most ambitious work to date, and one that I would highly recommend you check out. So as we move to the next album, which was released in 2017, and this was the final one from ECM for Chris Potter, and this is The Dreamer is the Dream. So it's a bit more of a quartet outing. Think of like the Sirens, but a little bit more laid back. So Chris Potter on saxophones, clarinets, flute, ilimba and samples, David Varelli's on piano and celeste, Joe Martin on double bass, and Marcus Gilmore on drums. Much shorter than the other albums, but still highly enjoyable, I would say. So we've got Heart in Hand, Ilimba, the title track The Dreamer is the Dream, Memory and Desire, Yasodhara, and Sonic Anomaly. It's a really good album, and it's very Yellow Jackets sort of esque style of music, but still highly enjoyable, I would say. Here's the quartets. Just like to say that Joe Martin and Marcus Gilmore make a great rhythm section, and David Bareilles, he's just an amazing piano player, and Chris Potter, he just sounds fantastic as always. Yeah, all compositions written and composed by Chris Potter. Yeah, there you go. So there you have it. Chris Potter, The Dreamer is the Dream. Very musical album, but very accessible, but still highly enjoyable, I would say. And I would recommend it. So the best album for me, it's a no-brainer. Chris Potter, Underground Orchestra, Imaginary Cities. Big, epic, cinematic, got big chamber sound. Everything about it's just huge. Everybody sounds great. And think of Vince Mendoza, Pat Metheny, and Steve Reich all rolled into one. It's just incredible, and one that I would definitely recommend to anybody. And if I was ever going to say to anyone, if there's one album to listen to from Chris Potter's ECM catalogue, it's this one. Just blew my mind when I heard this, and I haven't revisited this in a while, so I might listen to this at some point later, but it's fantastic. Highly recommended. So there you have it. That's Chris Potter's ECM catalogue, which consists of 3 solo recordings, and my favourite one is, of course, the Chris Potter Underground Orchestra, Imaginary Cities. So, which is your favourite ECM album of Chris Potter's? Is it The Dreamer's the Dreamer, The Sirens, or is it Imaginary Cities? There's no right or wrong answer. We all have our favourites, and I'm going to wrap this up now. You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series. So until next time, take care everybody, and stay safe, and once again, thanks for listening.